What's happening, friends? Time to preview the brand new 2022 Night-ster. Stick around. Hey, I appreciate you supporting the channel. I do have some new merch in. If you want to wear one of these cool shirts and look spiffy while doing it and supporting a good cause, please check out the link in the description for our merchandise. So here we are with the 2022 Harley Davidson Nightster. The Night-ster is a brand new model for this year using the Rev Max motor again, but notice this one's a 975. So it's just a little bit different than the 1200s that are riding in the other motors, but you know, you lose a little bit of weight with this setup. So power to weight ratio is a little different, and you know, being like a sportster style bike, you actually do get some pretty cool, unique features. They do have an adaptive headlight, very nice classic styling on the wheels and the fender, and of course liquid cooled, so you got your radiator and your battery box down below. So they kind of stick to the same platform with all of the Rev Max motors. Again, this is a part of the frame. The motor is a structural member, so that leads to a little bit of a different feel for the Harleys. The vibration from the motor is really actually not bad, and you know, I was a little nervous about that at first. This has ABS traction control, ride modes, Brembo brakes, all LED lighting. I mean, everything is good. I'll throw the stats up on the screen for horsepower and torque, but again, much less than the Pan America and less than the Sportster S. It's a smaller engine, and it's kind of like a more compact package, really, when you think about it. Single gauge with a small display on it. This bike weighs 481 pounds, so it actually is rather manageable, and coming out of the gate right around $14,000 depending on what options you get. Let's take this thing for a rip and see how she does. So very similar controls to the Pan America and the Sportster S, but just kind of like mini. Everything on this bike is a little small. Same engine that sounds like you're rattling a can of spray paint up. Selectable modes on the ride too. I've got it in sport mode. Very small fuel gauge though. I mean, that is you'd have to pay attention to that. I'm sure they give you some sort of warning light when you get down. I love the bar end mirrors on this too. They're nice. A little buzzy on the handlebars, but really not bad. Nice burble on the exhaust too. I gotta tell you, immediately out of the gate, this bike feels so much better handling than the Sportster S. So much more nimble. And I mean, the Sportster S was just awful going into the corners. It really didn't even want to go. I mean, it's nothing to shake a stick about. You got a 480-pound bike with a pretty good power plant on it. I mean, you're gonna have some fun. I don't know if I would call this a beginner's bike, maybe an intermediate. But she handles, she's holding the line pretty good. Wow. Okay, that pleasantly surprised me. I thought this thing was going to be a little on the wimpy side, and actually it's not. Let's give her some. Yeah, right up to speed.
Again, pleasantly surprised. A lot of power, and you know, the bike package is smaller, so it's more manageable, and it handles. Comfort-wise, not bad either. Not bad at all. Wow. I'm pleasantly surprised. I really am. I love the cement gray color scheme too. I'm not sure. Gunship gray. Nice. So my take on the Rev Max motors are that you're not going to get the classic Harley Davidson sound that you would expect. But if that's what you're going for, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're not going to get the same sound. You have to understand that you're going to be going into just a totally different power plant, and with that, you're going to have, you know, a really nice power package. Okay, so you're going to be able to wind on it where you wouldn't with a normal motor, but it's just a different sound. Okay, really steep corner and really good. However, I have a check engine light on, and I wonder what that is. Why? Okay, no idea. So this bike kind of reminds me of a 90s style Sportster, like the old style. You know, smaller type bike. My knees are at a 90 degree, my feet are right below me. So no forward controls, right below me, very comfortable, slightly pitched forward on the handlebars, right? So that's nice. Yeah, but the package is there, seats comfortable, suspension not bad as far as bumps go. I mean, I would actually put this close to a road glide as far as the comfort level. I thought this was going to be so much worse, and it's not at all. So with the Rev Max motor too, you don't have that torque down low. These things really wake up around 3,000 RPMs. The displacement on this is a little bit smaller than the bigger ones, so perhaps the torque curve is a little different. It feels about the same to me. I don't have a traditional tack on this, I only have the numbers. So right up to redline, this thing was pulling pretty good. And again, you know, close to 1,000 cc's is nothing to sneeze about. It's not like I'm riding a 250 here. Nice deep throaty sound on it. Not bad. This guy from Quebec in front of me is about to get Quebec. So if I put this down in like fifth, and I'm doing just close to 40 miles an hour, and I go to lug it, I mean, it doesn't really have anything there. You know, some people watching this video might throw a comment down below saying, well, you idiot, you got a downshift. Yeah, I get it. With a traditional V10, we're going to be able to get that little crack of the throttle and have some, you know, torque right off the line. With this setup, we're not. So you really have to wind it up. All right, this is retarded. As far as launchability goes, I mean, she's got some. I'll be looking forward to cracking this open after the old lady's house. I'm wondering if with the Sportster S that I rode, if the problem with the handling was those stinking huge tires. Shifting, this bike does great. Shifter feels fantastic. Very positive, engaging, really no qualms about that whatsoever. I think I like this bike quite a bit. You know, it's a little small for me, obviously, being 6'4". I'd say anybody up to 6'2" would probably just feel right at home with no issues. And boy, I mean, I wouldn't call it a girl's bike by any imagination. Not that there's anything wrong with that, obviously, but I think the ladies would feel right at home on this as well. It's manageable. It's small enough that it would be easy to you know, push around. I have no problem doing that. This bike's got excellent geometry. Excellent geometry. It seems to really like to cruise right around the 3,000 RPM mark. Lower than that, I can have it low, but I mean, there's really, you can see it, there's just nothing there below 3,000. It really doesn't like to be there. So right around 3,000, just cruising along, that's the sweet spot, it seems like. The brakes on this aren't that bad either. Again, we're talking a very lightweight package. It would be nice to see more on the lines of like a double rotor in the front, but you know, they opted for the single side, and you know, maybe that's a cost measure, or maybe that's just because the bike doesn't weigh a lot. I'm not sure, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. It's definitely not like a crotch rocket where you're going to stop really fast, but it's not terrible. And I'm really not disappointed at all in the suspension on this. Like I mentioned earlier, it seems to handle okay. It's not super plush, but I mean, it's not anything worse than like the CVO or the Street Glide or the Road Glide. I think they're all just about the same. The Sportster S was awful, and the Pan America is better because it's got some beefy suspension, but this bike is not disappointing as far as ride quality goes. I think for a first bike, this bike would be really good. You just would have to maybe keep it in rain mode for a while until you get confident, just to kind of dial it back a little bit. But as it comes out of the box, it's actually pretty decent. All right, it's time to get to work. We're now going to go onto the backstretch. Shifter's really good, and scrape my peg there, so not a lot of lean angle. Check engine light just self-cleared. Harley, you don't disappoint. We're gonna give her some when we get down here, just a little bit. This guy's gonna pass me, watch this. Got some juice. I like it. Small package bike actually got some pretty good power. Hey, let me know what your thoughts are. Take one for a spin. Throw some comments down in the section. Would you go for this bike? I might. It's not a bad package, power to weight ratio and all that jazz. Hey, until next time, please ride safe.